Stop thinking they care about you. They don't. They don't. Came across this on LinkedIn today. It's a great article by this guy Ted Mers, CFA, and this is freaking fantastic. Not fan. Well, let's just read it. On this day 3 years ago, I was fired from Bloomberg. This is the first time I've written about it. My boss booked a Zoom call with a woman from HR. He read a script saying they were eliminating my position and she would walk me through a severance package. Did I understand? I nodded. There's a lot to absorb. I'd been at that company 32 years. I was the 15th reporter ever hired, and now I've become managing editor. By any measure, I had a fantastic career. I had raises and glowing evaluations. I dedicated my life to working there. And in a 5-minute call, via Zoom, mind you, it was over. No reason was given, except it wasn't for cause. It took some time to process to get around writing about that. Bloomberg was my first real job. It felt like my identity. You know you are disposable, but you don't really understand it until you have been disposed. Getting fired teaches you a lot. It was a blessing and a curse not to gain that knowledge until I was 57. It can feel devastating, especially when there's no real good reason. Often people fired aren't underperforming and the companies aren't really struggling. Someone somewhere just decided to cut costs or rearrange the org chart. 32 years this guy gave to Bloomberg, and they gave him back with salaries or promotions, the whole thing. This is a mutual arrangement. 5 minutes via Zoom, he was gone. I mean, just, dude, this isn't anything on Bloomberg. This is the way it works. You are there as a cog in the machine. And it's funny, I was going through some old pictures, and I came across a letter my dad had written to me when I was in basic training. I was actually taking the train from Union Station down to Atlanta, and I was going to hop on a bus, go back to Fort Benning, because we had a break in between basic training, which is very weird, but we were in basic training around Christmas. They gave us 7 days off around Christmas or something like that, even though I was still in basic training. It was kind of strange. Anyway, so I'm in Union Station, and I'm in my Army gear, my dress greens. I have no rank. I just have a little, expert rifleman thing or whatever it's called, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? I don't even think I have a unit. Maybe I did have a unit patch. I can't remember. But anyway, and then you have your Army little cap, which I'm not going to say what we call it. It's kind of... Anyway, I'm just a clown. I got big, fat Army glasses on, and I'm in Union Station trying to find with my dad. And some guy comes up to me, an Army guy, starts chewing me out right in front of my dad. And I was like, because I had my hat on. He goes, "You're supposed to take the hat off in your side. Don't you know anything? Don't they teach you anything? Blah, 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 blah." Just some random guy just started coming up to me and started yelling at me. And anyway, my dad had written me a letter, a couple weeks after that, because he was like, "Whoa, what the hell?" He goes, "You got to remember, that guy wasn't yelling at you specifically. You're just a cog in the machine. That's it. He doesn't care about you. He doesn't know who you are. You're just a cog. And anytime the cog gets dirt on it, potentially it can break the machine." And I'll never forget that letter, man. I just came across it. As 1988. So that was how many years ago? 25, 35, something like that. Almost 40 years ago now. 37 years ago. And I'll never forget that, because it's like, it was nothing to do personally with you. It wasn't. Just a cog in the machine. And you got to be disciplined, because the machine requires discipline to do the job. If there is lack of discipline, the machine breaks down. So every cog has to perform exactly like the previous cog and the one behind it. It's got to be like that. And it's saying, I'll never forget that. And it's such a great piece, because it just said, don't these guys piss you off? I mean, you can get pissed off, but remember, it has nothing to do with Josh Scanlon. And the same thing with my man here. What's this guy's name? Mike. What's his name? Mike. Ted Mers. Don't know anything about him, but it's the same thing here with old terrible Ted Mers. Just a cog in the machine. He he gave 32 years of his life to Bloomberg. In response, Bloomberg gave him a salary, accolades, a feeling of, I don't know. I mean, he's like, hey, I'm better than people. I can't say he's like that. I don't know, but I'm just saying, look, I got a good job. I'm with Bloomberg. I probably go on CNBC and all this stuff. And in a 5-minute call, he's gone. Again, it was a mutually cooperative engagement there. And you can leave the company too. anytime you want. But don't think they can't do the same to you, even if you're overperforming, even if the company isn't hurting for your money. They can do whatever the hell they want. So the question I'd ask you is, why would you give more of your life, of the limited amount of days you have left, to being a cog in the machine? Have you got enough from the? If you've got enough from the machine, leave it behind. What? Look, I get it. You don't want to leave your coworkers behind. I get that, dude. But here's the issue: the coworkers don't give a crap either. I'm telling you, the minute you're gone, there's going to be a thing on the wall that says, now hiring. I'll never forget when I left USA. I've been there 10 years. I've developed some good relationships. A couple days later, I was gone. Like, I talked to text them and stuff. They're like, yeah, we're just, it's just like we had nothing else to talk about very much. Because their lives were focusing on what they were doing on a daily basis. I was no longer part of that. It was weird, man. Like when I got out of the Army, I'll never forget the day I got out. I went back, and this after I signed my ETS stuff, and I went back to my unit to get my duffel bag, and everyone else was just planning for the next deployment. They're like, all right, see you, Scanlon. That was it. It was just it. You know what I'm saying? I dedicated 4 of my hardcore lives to these guys, and it's just like, and it can't. I was the same way when people got out too. I was the same way. It's like, all right, now I got to go back to prepare for going to Panama. You know what I'm saying? I'll never forget that. But some of my roommate gets out, and we're getting up Panama. I can't remember, but it's like people's lives go on without you or with you, but they will go on. Your company goes on without you or with you. You're just a cog in the machine. So take care of yourself because no one else is gonna. And again, it's not like it's bad. It just is. So if you've already made it, maybe it's time to not be the cog. Maybe it's time to be your own machine, man. You know what I'm saying? To give your time to you instead of some other entity that just doesn't care. All right. Love your thoughts. God bless. Smash that like button. We'll see you